So Neil, you don't want to do this, do you? TalkLife. Today, yesterday, actually, I asked you all about finances, and I said that I was bringing in the finance guru. So let me introduce Neil. Neil works as our FD at TalkLife and said that he is super pumped to answer all of your finance questions. So you have fired some amazing questions at him, and you haven't seen them in...
No, I haven't seen them, no.
Why don't you introduce yourself? What do you do when you're not working at TalkLife?
Okay, when I'm not working at TalkLife, I go and watch football, I help my son play football, and I'm a family man. He's pretty good, yeah, he's not too bad. And I'm a family man, and I like doing lots of things with my family.
Nice.
Water sports, things like that.
UK born and bred?
I was UK born, absolutely, but lived around the world when I was younger, so came back to UK when I was in my teens.
Favourite spot?
Mexico,
What?
where I lived for 5 years.
Oh wow, I didn't know you'd been to Mexico. Whereabouts in Mexico?
Lived in Mexico City, but we went all around Mexico. Taken my family back a couple of times since, and it is absolutely wonderful country. Just have to be careful where you go.
Did you spend any time in the US?
We used to go to the US. Yeah, went to US every year for holidays, and I've been back a couple of times since. So yeah.
What do you say to all the people today who are battling with minus 50?
That is I can't imagine what it's like out there. Here it's cold, but not as cold as that. I was listening to it on the radio, and I think that must be terrible to go out. It must be absolutely freezing. So stay inside.
Okay. Shall we jump into some questions?
Yeah, sure.
What I asked you is finances can be the key drivers for stress and anxiety, and we've all had massive financial difficulties in the past, and sometimes you don't actually know how to deal with that. You don't know what to do. I asked you to fire your questions at our finance guru. So let's go through them. The first question by Anderson: how do I win the lottery? Very financial.
Well, you may have read recently that in the States there was somebody that calculated a system, and when 6 numbers came up, if 5 numbers came up, they worked out how many tickets you need to buy to guarantee win, and they made $28 million. So read their book.
What?
Yep.
Who?
That was a week ago.
What?
Yeah.
So this system isn't global yet, and we can still get on it?
No.
What are we doing here?
I don't know. Yeah. But he worked out. He was a maths professor, and he worked out a way to beat the system, and he was right. So he made $28 million. They may have stopped it now, but he made it over a number of years, and he's only just released it.
There you go, Anderson. There's an actual system. What's the book?
Oh, I can't remember. I don't know. Google it, and you'll find out.
Let us know, and fact check that as well. Very cool. Daniel, how do I get the most amount of money fast? How do I get the most amount of money fast?
Blimey. Okay.
Surely it's some high risk, high reward. Put all of your money on black.
Oh, blimey. Okay. There's no guaranteed way of getting most amount of money fast. I guess. Is money the source of all your worries? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. Enjoy yourself and make money at the same time.
Yeah. Is there a particular avenue that you're committing to? When you were younger, did you put money into a hedge fund or into shares?
No. My philosophy actually is to make money more slowly. I think that the quicker you want to make money, the more risk you'll take, and the more likely you are to lose it all. So make money slowly.
Rick Sanchez commented down here: drugs. Don't do that, Daniel. Don't do that. Okay, moving right along. Do you want to try one of these grizzly bears? Oh, they're vegan.
Right, yeah. Oh, thank you very much.
Does that mean they don't have gluten?
No. Nothing dairy or meaty.
I know, I think it... So gluten is pig strutters?
No, gluten's wheat.
No, hang on. They don't have... What is... Gelatin.
Oh, gelatin. Yeah, they won't have gelatin.
Jen is mouthing gelatin to me just behind the camera. Pretty sure gluten is in there as well for vegans. No idea. Okay, next question. How to earn... This is by Ezra Scarlett, long-time TalkLifer. how to earn more money through your passion. I like painting or a pet sitter.
Okay, well, as if I think that it's a great thing in life if you actually follow your passion, and quite a lot of people make money out of doing the things they're passionate about. But I think sometimes you need to maybe balance that with a little bit of work-life balance as well. So maybe if you want to go part-time and try and make money developing your passion in life, and gradually build up your
Yeah, that's good.
your
What if your passion is...
This isn't going live, is it?
Yeah.
Can we edit that?
Yeah.
We're not going to.
I hope we do.
We're not going to. We're going to put it in there because that's amazing.
Ah.
What happens if your passion actually doesn't make, like if your passion, let's say you love photography, but there's no money for amateur photography. Do you still go part-time, or do you get perhaps some other training?
Yeah, I mean, I think you could probably...
When do you take the leap?
Yeah. Well, it's very difficult. The thing about your passion is you have to keep it as your passion as well. So you've got to make sure that it isn't a burden. You make sure that it's not a millstone around your neck.
Yeah.
So you can, you just keep passionate about what you really, really enjoy. And if you make money, to me, that's a bonus.
Yeah, I like it. Next question from Bobbikins, and actually there's a range of questions here, so I'm going to pick maybe two of them. How do I save money when I get paid so little? $340 fortnightly. How do you save money? She does go on to say, and I read this yesterday as well, she does have a personal trainer and a gym membership. Which should I cancel to save as well? And she also said, the medicine that I buy, should I buy the more expensive brands or the cheaper brands? Yeah, I mean, do a bit of homework on that one.
I think it's quite, it's quite well known now that, generic brands, generic medicines are just as good as branded medicines. So
check with your GP.
But
But no, I agree.
I mean,
Pissing off the pharmaceuticals.
well, they make a lot of money.
It's true.
So I think to me the key to spending your money is actually stripping it right back to the basics and see what you actually really need to spend it on. So try and budget, see how much you've got coming in, try and budget over the next couple of weeks to see how far your money will go, and put the essentials first, put the necessities first, and after that, yes, if you've got money left for other things such as personal trainers, then fine.
Yeah, and I guess the essentials would be needs.
Oh, needs, absolutely, yeah.
I remember when I was in school and my dad used to tell me, do you need it?
Yeah.
Versus do you want it? And I think it's important.
Yeah, absolutely, needs.
Another question, how do you then balance that when you've got a ton of debt? This person has $1,000 worth of ambulance bills. I mean, it sounds like a really tough situation.
It is. Okay, I mean, the key about debt really is to make sure that you don't go to the very high interest debt providers. So if you've got a variety of debts, try and consolidate them in one, pay them back over a longer period, and try and get your interest down. As long as you're paying at least the interest off plus a little bit of capital, then you can try and manage. But that is very tough, and presumably if you've got ambulance debts, that must have been you've been sick at some point, and you might not have been earning, and that is a very, very tough situation. So
I would say don't jump from card to card to try and pay it off. Whatever you do, and don't take out any of those sort of high risk loan sharks. Because you're only going to get in more stress. It might make you feel better for the first day, but then you're going to be paying 16-20% interest on month, and that's a high rate, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, most credit cards are somewhere between sort of 18 and 28% interest, so try and get bank loans instead of the lower rate.
Okay, cool. Another question, I want to follow my passion, but at the same time I need money to pay for rent, bills. Should I take a leap of faith, or should I stick to my boring job?
Oh, wow, that's a good one. I like that one. I guess I mean I said it before. I think people should follow their passion personally. If you're in a boring job, maybe you ought to consider a change of job anyway. If you're not finding it particularly exciting, you've got to be, to me, you've got to go to work and have fun. So maybe you could once again, maybe you could try part-time in some role and passion in the other one.
It's got to be surely to do with your position as well. If you're really struggling financially, surely you wouldn't jump into a passion project, because you've got to be realistic. You've got to pay off the debts. You've got to get yourself in a position where it's semi-safe.
Absolutely, yeah. You've got to make sure that you meet all your outgoings for a start. I kind of guessed by your question there that you may have, you may be thinking about taking the leap anyway, so you might have some financial backing. But yeah, no, absolutely. The most critical thing is to make sure that you can meet your obligations. Yeah.
That's by question by Talk News as well, who's been putting out some amazing content, controversial content. Keep, if it's video editing and putting videos out there, do it during the evening, work your 9 to 5, and then get it done as a passion project on the side, I would have thought.
Yeah.
A couple of cool answers there as well. I'm not going to read them out. Let me jump down. Mr. Pool Venomized. I think that's like a Funko Pop reference. I want to buy a Raspberry Pi 3B. It costs something, but I don't have a job. Wanting to buy something that you don't have. I'm sure we have a Raspberry Pi around the office. I'm sure I can find you a Raspberry Pi. We get sent them all the time. I will find you a Raspberry Pi.
There you go.
And send it out.
There you
so
go.
If you DM me, Mr. Pool Venomized, I will get you a Raspberry Pi. But what would be your answer to that anyway?
Well, I mean, once again, I would say, is the Raspberry Pi a necessity? If it's not a necessity, then I would say, try and save up the money before you get it. If it's something that can earn you money, then maybe you can take out a loan and get it and earn you money from that. But otherwise, I would wait until you got the money.
Okay, should we do a couple more? I think we've got time for a couple more. Donald J. Duck, I think this is an American question. What the hell do you do if your former employee refuses to send you your W-2 and they aren't an American company? Like, am I screwed here, or can I just do my tax returns, or can the IRS force them to mail it to me? I guess like a W-2 is probably like a...
Yeah, it's a tax form, isn't it? Right, I'm not an expert on that side of things. I'm sorry to say. What I can do is I will Google it for you, and I'll try and send you the answer if I can find it out.
I like that. I think it's just like a tax form, like a...
W-2.
What's it in the UK?
P45, yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
I know my tax. Okay. Thanks, Donald. Somebody else said drugs. Oh, same person. Jerry Mouse. I'm reading these out before I've actually read them on screen. So
okay.
And we've had Donald Duck and Jerry Mouse.
Yes, we have. Yeah.
Serious community. I need some advice on budgeting better. Every paycheck comes in, I spend my money all at once, but I have stuff I need to save up for.
Okay, right. That's a very personal answer. I wonder whether maybe if you could go to a personal finance expert or something like that. The banks generally have personal finance experts. They can help you budget. To me, once again, it's a case of seeing how much is coming in, looking at how much is going out on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, and trying to budget to make sure you've got enough. It's very difficult to answer those general questions without knowing the specifics of your situation. So I would suggest going to try and find a personal finance expert.
There is a dog behind the camera. If you heard that little, I heard that little beat. Can we see the dog? This thing. What about a dog if you're in a financial hardship? This thing is so cute and it's wandering around the office. What is it? It's a English border.
Thank you very much. Right.
This is
So-
going to get you the views. Okay.
Yeah.
Next question, because we've got to fly along with it. We're getting distracted. Well, I mean, if you want to give me free money, I'm down. By Genesis, nope. Okay, I am Groot. Do you know what I am?
I know what Groot is. Yep.
Okay. Is swing trading or short-term trading profitable as a part-time trader for a student? Any book suggestions for beginners? What are some passive income sources for upcoming years? If you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be and why?
Oh, okay, right. Multiple questions there.
Knock off the tree.
Well, the first one,
Short-term trader.
short-term trading. I mean, obviously, that's very, very, very risky. So, if you've got money to spare, money to burn, it's a bit like gambling. Then yes, you can try it and you can try and make money, but don't put too much more than you can afford. Okay.
Dabble with like $20.
Yeah, but be very, very careful of that. Any books? There are plenty of books out there, but there are no guarantees on making any money on that sort of gambling anyway.
You knew the lottery book.
Oh, I knew the lottery book. Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
you know
yeah,
some more practical.
On that side, I wouldn't promote any of those books, because personally, I think what you've got to do is you've got to put if you want to do that, if you want to trade like that, you put a little bit of money in there and let it grow rather than risking too much money. If I was a tree, I think I would be a rowan tree, I think, because that's the birth tree for December, and I was born in December. There you go, a rowan tree.
What is a rowan tree?
It's a big tree.
Descriptive. Moving right along, and this will be the last question. There's two really good questions that I want to hit on.
Right.
By Cassie, I have $76,000 in student debt and no job. What do I do?
Okay. This is, I've got to say, this is an American specific question. I know that in the UK, if you've got student debt, you don't have to start paying it off until you start earning money. I'm not exactly sure what the situation is in the US. It's very difficult for me to say on that. I'm sorry. Technically, I'm not a US.
It's tough, isn't it? I mean, you've got to get the. You just got to keep job hunting. I think that's the key. They do happen. I mean, you might be in a really niche area. 76,000 is a massive debt, but keep job hunting.
Yeah.
Last question. Finance is something by Deeps. Finance is something that I'm very aware, especially in regards to managing cash flow or being savvy from saving for a rainy day. However, my issue is primarily based on online banking. I'm very worried about using it, and I've seen people pay by phone, and although it's useful, I get anxiety with the thought of using online banking where people can commit fraud and money laundering.
Well, I think it's very unusual nowadays for any of the fraud or money laundering to happen. You're generally protected by the banks themselves or your credit cards if it's a credit card transaction. They're getting more and more secure. Technically...
Do you know the system they have? What it's called? Most banks.
Right.
Do you know what it's called?
No.
It's called the Hawk.
The Hawk, okay.
Yeah, which is kind of like similar to our system.
Yeah.
Anyway, thought it was a fun fact.
But I mean, everybody's doing it. You're more protected now than you ever were in terms of online fraud, so I wouldn't worry about it too much.
Okay. Do you want to do one more? Not really.
No.
You just want to get out of here. Well, that has been Chatting Finance. Is there a title that we can give to this? Do you have the finance?
Sorry?
Do you have a title?
A title for this? No.
Good. Well, that's thanks for the questions. If you find this helpful, let us know. If you don't find it helpful, let us know. If you like it, give us a like. If you hate it, let us know. Have a good day.
Thank you.